Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm back again, your brother Anwar Ali. I hope you're all well, inshallah ta'ala. And today I wanted to talk to the divorced, our brothers and sisters in Islam who are divorced. And unfortunately, our ummah is full of so many divorced people because for some strange reason, many marriages end too quickly, too soon, and unfortunately, in some cases, too destructively. I want to speak more specifically to the divorced Muslims who have yet to heal from their previous marriages. Okay. If that's you, then please listen, inshallah ta'ala. Bismillah. Divorce is not the end of your story. This is really important because some people, after divorce, they feel like this is it, my life is finished. I can't do anything. I am damaged goods, subhanAllah. What divorce is, subhanAllah, is a test that we must face with patience, inshallah, with honesty, self-reflection. Many brothers and sisters, unfortunately, rush into remarriage without taking the time to heal from the wounds of the past. And this often leads to repeating the same cycle of pain. Islam teaches us to take accountability, purify ourselves, and to enter a new commitment with a clean heart. And rushing into a new marriage when you haven't fully healed is going to lead to more destruction. So I have a few steps, inshallah, that I hope will help you in, inshallah ta'ala, healing, or at least to get into the process of healing, inshallah ta'ala. Step 1. Okay. And this is something that not a lot of people think about, but step 1 is acknowledge your pain. Subhanallah. What tends to happen with some people after they have left a marriage that ended destructively is that they do their best to bury their feelings and pretend they don't exist. What in fact you should be doing, inshallah ta'ala, is recognize the hurt, the betrayal, the disappointment, the loss you feel. Healing begins with the honesty, being honest with yourself, inshallah ta'ala, right? I'm not asking you to scream out of your window or to let those feelings cause you some sort of mental and emotional harm. I'm just saying, in the very beginning of starting your journey of healing from your marriage, you have to acknowledge that the pain exists. So, step number 2. Okay, and this one should be an obvious, but a lot of people don't do it. You have to cut ties with your past. You cannot heal if you still have one foot or one hand inside of the thing that is causing you pain. If your past marriage still lingers in your life through unnecessary contacts, memories that you have in your phone, like pictures or voice notes of you had with your ex, subhanallah, you need to delete those. You need to get rid of those, subhanallah. If you still are following each other on social media, unfollow each other. In fact, block each other, subhanallah, or you'll never be able to move forward. Now, Islam does not forbid you from remembering lessons, but it does warn you against clinging onto what harms the heart. Okay? So, step 2, cut ties with your past, inshallah ta'ala. Now, I just want to say one little caveat. Now, there are obviously a lot of Muslims who have obviously children with their ex-spouses, and many Muslims they believe they need to be directly in contact. So they need to text each other with their exes, they need to call each other with their exes. In fact, that's not what Islam says. Islam says to tackle this particular unique issue when you have children with your ex is to assign a mediator, is to get someone to be the middleman. That would be your father, your brother, your uncle, your grandfather, whatever man there is in your family. And if you don't have one of those, then you go to the masjid to get them to assign one for you. And if you can't get one from a masjid, then the next best thing would be to find a family that you trust, right? And get your ex-husband to contact the man that you would assign as a wakil, as it is called, subhanallah, to speak to him. And so basically he would text the middleman, and then the middleman would forward that to you. And that way you keep things halal, and you are meeting the requirement of cutting ties with your past. Because if you're trying to move on and heal, but you're still speaking to the very source of your pain, that makes no sense. So yeah, step number 3. Okay, this one is going to be a little bitter and might be difficult for some people, but stay with me, inshallah. Step 3, you have to take responsibility. It's easy to blame your ex-spouse, but growth requires that you look at yourself. Ask, what did I do wrong? What can I improve in myself? Marriage is 2 people, right? Not 1 person. So accountability is the bridge to maturity. Even if it was your ex that caused the issue for you to leave your marriage, you're not perfect. So part of the healing process is to take some form of accountability, right? And to look at yourself and say, you know what? Okay, there are areas that I could have improved, right? Because nobody's perfect. Because when you enter a marriage, it's 2 imperfect people. So 2 imperfect people who come together and they try to build a life together. So it's not possible that after the marriage ends, it's one perfect person who comes out and the other person is imperfect. That doesn't make sense, right? SubhanAllah. Step number 4. This one's an obvious. Strengthen your connection with Allah. SubhanAllah. This is the greatest form of healing. Use this time to increase your salah, your dhikr, Quran recitation. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for him. He, meaning Allah, is sufficient for him. Healing of the heart comes only through the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as you're going through this journey of healing from your past, don't forget that the medicine or the fuel that's going to continue to support your healing process is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always leaning on Him, always turning to Him. Step number 5, do not rush into another marriage. Oh my God. This is something that, I'm sorry, too many Muslims do this, and I think they either do it out of negligence, out of ignorance, or because certain cultural pressures. People believe that, oh, okay, you know what, one of the best ways to heal is to get yourself back into another marriage. I'm telling you right now, marriage is not a bandage to cover your wounds. Don't seek a new spouse out of loneliness or to escape pain. Enter only when you're stable, clear-minded, and ready to give your best. 100%. You cannot, subhanallah, still be in a state of chaos mentally, emotionally, and perhaps even spiritually, and due to a relationship, and then somehow, and Allah knows best why people think this, assume that entering another relationship is going to heal you. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, subhanAllah. Okay. Step number 6. Seek counsel. This is something that is really rare in the Muslim community. It's something that non-Muslims do and feel very, very comfortable doing. But seeking counsel is so important. Whether through a trusted imam, a wise elder in your family or your community, or a professional therapist. Do not isolate yourself, subhanAllah, because others can give you a perspective that you cannot see alone. There are professionals, there are elders who are wiser than us, wiser than you, that you can speak to, inshallah, and then they can share with you their wisdom. I personally say, depending on how deep your trauma is, right? If you feel like your trauma is so deep that you need professional help, seek it. There are so many people, especially if you can find a professional therapist that is also a Muslim, because them being Muslims would have a better understanding of the dynamics of your relationship, because we're Muslims and Muslim marriage is very different from other marriages. So seek therapy, inshallah ta'ala. There's no shame in it whatsoever. I promise you, a lot of people have found success in seeking the counsel of others. And finally, step 7. Okay? And this one's important. Forgive even if you cannot forget, subhanAllah. Because holding on to grudges is poisonous to your soul. Forgiveness does not mean you excuse what was wrong, but it frees you from being chained to the past, subhanAllah. Because you have this anger in you, right? And it's crazy. Like, trust me, like, I've been betrayed as well. We've all been betrayed. We've all been hurt by someone else. But just holding on to that grudge, that pain, that hatred, the spite, it's just perfect fuel for the shaitan. The shaitan is loving it, and he's like, using that as ammunition to keep, doing waswas on you and making you angrier and more hateful and destroying your life. But one of the best things you can do for your healing process is to just forgive. You don't have to forget. In fact, it's impossible to forget. But forgiving just releases that tension and that pain from your soul, from your heart, from your body. It's such a wonderful relief. It won't necessarily happen in an instant. It may take time, right? And you may need to even ask Allah's assistance to help you with the ability to forgive. Because sometimes just forgiving someone is not easy. You can't just okay, I forgive them. Okay, forgiveness requires sincerity. It comes from the very depth of your heart. So please, right, remember, every trial is a form of purification. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, right, that if someone goes through some difficulty, even if it's a thorn that pricks them, and they have patience with it, Allah will purify their sins. Allahu Akbar. And divorce does not define your worth. This is such a nasty thing in our community, unfortunately, that people look at people who are divorced as worthless, as if the more marriages you go through defines your worth somehow. But how you respond to it does, subhanAllah. So if you respond to divorce in a very chaotic way, then you kind of confirming the people who are saying you are worthless, subhanAllah. Do you know what I'm saying, subhanAllah? But if you respond to your divorce, to how you've divorced and post-divorce situation, in a way that allows you to become elevated, for you to become how do you say it? I'm trying to find the right English word, not Arabic word. To evolve, to become better than you were before, to not allow your past to make you worse than you were before you got married, but better even, subhanAllah. I think that's amazing. So again, remember, heal first, then look forward, inshallah ta'ala. And bi'idhnillah ta'ala, by Allah's permission, once you feel you're ready, you can enter the next chapter of your life with sincerity and wisdom, and obviously reliance upon Allah. And if you want to seek marriage, you can seek marriage with just a clean heart, a clean mind, and this in fact will be favorable for you and the next person that you marry, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? Because then you can enter a marriage with empty. Not empty like there's a void in you, but empty of what you've just gone through, as if you never went through it. Okay? Yes, like I said before, you may not forget, right? But it doesn't chain you down, subhanAllah. And I pray that this advice has helped you in some way. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps us all, guides us all, and reminds us constantly that salvation, purification, guidance is all from Him, right? And I pray Allah that He heals all of us, whatever difficulty we're going through, not necessarily even divorce, but any difficulty we may be going through in our lives. And I know we're all being tested, especially as time goes on and we get closer to the Day of Judgment. This ummah is going to continue to be tested over and over and over. If you guys have ever studied the minor signs of the Day of Judgment, what our brothers and sisters in Sudan, in Palestine, in Yemen, these are all signs that have been told to us already, subhanAllah. Okay? So please do not give up hope in Allah. keep running towards Him, and I pray the advice I've given you helps you heal. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.